So my book went to book auction. And me being a first-time author, I think I have like 630,000 followers on Instagram. I just started Instagram a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and people, I guess, like my content because everything I talk about is about getting better. It's never about me kissing my own ass, about getting better. So, long story short, my book went to book auction, and two of the top 5 publishing houses, bid on it, and they both bid, $300,000. And I was going to go to contract with one of them. And for a first-time author, that is a humongous advance. So before I signed the contract, I took that 1 second and made that 1 second about 5 hours. And I believe in taking a lot of quiet time. We live in a world that moves so fast, and you don't grow with noise. You grow with quiet. Your mind needs to be in a quiet place to grow, to get stronger, to figure out where you want to go in life. So I got real quiet, and I started thinking about my life and everything I'd gone to get where I'm at today. And I turned down that book offer. I turned down $300,000, and I actually self-published. So I self-published my book. So just to give you a little bit more insight about that, and I financed my own book. So this isn't about money for me. I turned down that money. This is, like I said, my biggest trophy is the life I've lived. I've lived a life that I am finally proud of. I lied about my life for so many years because I wasn't proud, which is why I can tell you all how jacked up my life used to be, because I'm now finally proud of it. I don't care if I'm judged. I used to care about being judged. I used to care about what people thought about me. I'm able to tell you anything you want to know about me because I no longer care what you think about me, because I think very highly of myself in the humblest of ways.
At the beginning of the year, a lot of you had goals, ambition, a lot of drive, a lot of motivation. Well, it's Easter. It's the middle of April. When I navigate, I put backstops out there to make sure I don't get too far off course. I put those backstops in my personal life to make sure I don't get too far away from my goals and my dreams. A lot of you aren't proud of who you are. You don't like the person you created. Do what I did. Start from scratch. Create somebody that you're proud of. Stay hard.
We're watching people fail because we're afraid to hurt their feelings. By no means do I condone bullying. I think it's... But I will say one thing. I believe in the truth and telling the truth. A lot of us have loved ones, friends, people we see every day who are gaining weight, getting out of shape, not going to school, being lazy, but we're afraid to tell them the truth. Not being bullies, but afraid to tell them the truth. One thing that changed my life is my grandfather. He told me, you're going nowhere in your life, not being anything. As bad as that hurt me, it got me to pull my head out of my ass. So learn to stay hard, have thick skin, and do what's right. Stay hard. Most of us live our entire lives avoiding failure. It's funny. I walk around, people come up to me and they say, man, you're that Navy SEAL, you went through Ranger School, you were, Air Force TAC P, you did the pull-up record, you run all these ultra races, all this. Man, the funny thing about it that I think about is this. They know that part of me. This is the part I know about myself. I failed the ASVAB test to get in the military 3 times. In the Air Force, failed at pararescue. In the SEALs, it took me 3 times to get through Navy SEAL training. The pull-up record took me 3 times. This is what I know about me. So what I'm saying is this. You can't live your life being afraid to fail. All those failures made me the success in the day. Stay hard. Stay in the fight.
at first I was out here to just change my circumstances. Now it's my duty to hopefully change people's lives through my story. That a lot of us believe that we have this hardcore ceiling on our lives and what we can accomplish. I'm hopefully through my story, through my book, that ceiling pops open, and you now see that there's endless possibilities to yourself and also the human mind and what it's capable of. And that's what my journey now is to be a leader to other people, to show them what is possible. I got invited to go down to MIT, which was very intimidating to me, to speak with these great minds of mental toughness from MIT. And there's about 200 students in the auditorium to answer your question. And they were all asking these great minds these questions. And I was on a panel. I barely graduated high school, man. And these are these great theorists up here who studied the brain and studied the mind, how it works in harsh environments. And they studied it. They were theorists. No one ever taught me anything. I was a practitioner. I was the only true practitioner on that panel. So all these people, I never had a coach. All these people were asking these theorists questions. And one female said, Mr. Goggins, you haven't answered one question. She said, why? I go, because I don't agree with anything they're saying. Because my mindset was very different than theirs. They had taken a study of normal people, and we're all normal until we don't want to be. And they took a study of normal people, and that's where they got all of their facts from. I said, once you decide to be uncommon, all of those facts go away. So all of my stuff I talk about, it came from me going to hell, being in hell, seeing how your mind functions in a bad environment, how it processes it, and that's what I write about. I write about actual times of life and how my mind processed it and how I got through these times while being in them.
One thing I found out was for several years I gave myself a way out.
When you were 300 pounds?
When I was 300 pounds, when I was all the way up till I was 24 years old. I would climb a mountain, I'd fall back down. I start climbing, I fall back down for the first 24 years of my life. I went to my first hell week, my second hell week, and then my third hell week came in SEAL training, and the CEO, Captain Bowen, looked at me. I'm on crutches, I'm all jacked up. He says, hey, this is your last time you're gonna go through buds. This is it. I had several stress fractures. I had double pneumonia. I was jacked up, and he gave me a few months to heal. He said, this is your last time going through. I shouldn't even let you go back through.
Wow.
I started Navy SEAL training with stress fractures. And this is when I started to not put a cap on the body if the mind is there. Every morning I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to my dive cage, go in there before anybody saw me. I'd get duct tape, and I would tape from my forefoot all the way up to the mid of my calf, and I would put 2 black socks on. And so I ran not using the pivot, and I ran my hip flexors. So for the first 45 minutes to an hour, I was in absolute excruciating pain. But what motivated me through that whole process was the fact that this kid came from that. I'm in the hardest training in the world, in the worst shape of my entire life. What if I can graduate amongst these studs?
Wow.
All these guys around me are studs. They're stallions, they're gladiators in my class. They're all healthy, most of them. They're not broken like this. They may have some, everybody's sick going through that training. Yeah. But if I can graduate, it would change everything for me. If I can start the hardest training in the world, broken, and graduate. So my mind fed off of that. You are now, from the weakest man, you are now the hardest man to ever live.